What's up, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel, back to weekly reviews, back to weekly lessons, and I'm here to remind you guys, TNT Capital is back up and running. We're doing online mentorship, online teachings, so if you're interested, guys, the price is way less than $100 right now. So guys, basically what we're promising is basically making 10 to 30% of your account in profit each and every single month by following our system that we built. We learned our system, we compiled our system based from the Beat the Market Maker system, and we compiled our system based from that, right? So today we are going to be talking about, first and foremost, we're going to be talking about the gold. We're going to be talking about the GBP USD, and I might touch on the NAS 100, right? Might touch on the US 30, but I'm not really into stocks like that. But we might touch on those two indices, right? But main two would be GBP USD and the gold, Xauusd in most instances, right? So we're gonna start with the gold. So little bit of a backstory why things slowed down. We did not get paid. Imagine that. So guys, you know, when you're trying to start your business, hiccups will come up, you know, but always trust God. God will always deliver you. God will always come through for you. And in this case, now we're back to trading full time. We have funded accounts. We're still busy with the phases though, but things will work out for you in the end, guys. It doesn't matter if you have to start over or anything like that. It's cool as long as you know that your system prevails all, and plus we built our system with the with the help of the Holy Spirit. So it's gonna be, I wouldn't say just because it comes with the Holy Spirit doesn't mean it's gonna be, how can I say, 100% accurate. Guys, we still live in the world, so everything does have its own flaws. What God said to me, that it's not gonna be perfect, but it's gonna be just right, and I believe it is just right. So as we all know, backstory, we were supposed to be paid by Monovis, which we didn't. I'm not going to do anything about that. God will deal with them, right? We had it was a 10%, actually 12% payout that we were waiting for in order to kickstart our business. I believe we should be at max allocation with I think we're planning to do it at FTMO. We should be with max allocation right now. We should be making a lot of money. However, things happen for a reason. God puts a pause button on things for a certain reason. Not mad. I do not resent him whatsoever. I love him with my entire heart. So with that being said, guys, let's get started. We're gonna look at the gold first. I'm gonna do the numbers with you guys. Also backtest the system with you guys until current market week. Basically, we all know that gold has been pretty choppy ever since I think June, and this month, August, would mark the third month of it being choppy, right? We all know the power of the number of 3. So it is the third month. It is August. Summer's coming to an end in America. We should be hitting daylight saving again around September, end of September maybe, and that's when probably we would see gold trending again, right? What I believe I see, especially when we head to the daily chart, right, we can see that gold has been ranging, right, has been moving sideways for 1, 2, this would be the third month now. As you can see, we've been in this tire range right here, right? Haven't broken up, haven't broken down or anything like that. So even now, I guess if you're having a bad market experience, I think last week was one of the worst. Because of the Trump speech, because of the Fed Powell speech, one of the worst weeks we could ever experience as traders, especially if you're a consistent gold trader. If you've been trading currencies, I think maybe you've been doing better than others. However, but if you are a consistent gold trader, and by the way, if you were to look at last year's market around the same time, this is it right here, right? For 3 months as well, 1, 2, 3. So it's a pattern. That's all I can say. It's a pattern. However, what I can tell you is, even though the numbers did get a little bit small, we were making the bare minimum of 10 to about 20 to 25% every 14 days or every month. But what we do promise in our business model, guys, is that you will make 10% of your capital, because we do recommend that you go with a funded account. You go with an prop firm. If you want to fund your own account, yes, we can do that. However, but it would take you a lot longer to yield substantial profit. Like, that's just me. If especially if you're South African, if you have 1,000 rand, if you have 1,500 rand, if you have even 500 rand, you can get funding, right? Which is the beauty of trading right now in today's world, right? Back then, you had to get a job, which you still can get a job that pays minimum wage, 4,500 rand, 5,000 rand a month, and you can still get funded and still trade your way out of a 9-to-5 and still have a beautiful story to tell, right? But now what I want you guys to also remember is that you need patience to trade the forex market. You need patience to trade gold, especially when it's this choppy. It's been 3 months, so it's a lot of time for a lot of people to be like, I think I want to move to the Nasdaq, I think I want to move to the US 30, I think I want to move to GBP/USD, Euro USD, or trade a forex pair, any forex pair, maybe your exotics or your miners as well. However, remember, guys, if you are faithful till the end, God will be faithful with you till the end, right? So basically, why I showed you the choppy market around last year, around the same time as now, is so I could show you a pattern, and then how long did you actually trend from? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, almost 11 months, right? Or just a complete 11 months. So you do have majority of your year is great market conditions, right? Majority of your year is great market conditions. We had 11 months of trending market. That is enough time to make a lot of money, right? But in this case, I want you guys to also understand that it's okay for market to range, right? There's a reason why market ranges. There's a reason why we have price moving sideways, right? One, which I believe, my opinion, there's a lot of money that's now been moving bullish. So what they did is now they established a all-time high. They established an all-time high. So what does that gives a lot of traders the idea that, we might go short. So what happens is that a lot of money is now taken out, a lot of liquidity, a lot of volume is being taken out of the forex market, and now a lot of people now are just waiting. So that's why we have been experiencing low volume. That's why fundamentals are being used to achieve price targets as well. Example last week as well, we had Fed Powell, we had the Trump speech. I can take it back to even when NFP was going on at the beginning of the month, right? Very powerful NFP. Why? There's very low technical volume, right? So market makers use fundamentals to achieve price targets, right? I hope that makes sense. So what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be back testing this year's market, especially ever since we processed our payout from the 4th of April. And then I'm going to show you guys how it literally works when you follow a complete system to the T. You don't ask questions. You know when you're trading. You know after how many pips yet you're going to start securing profit. It's very important that you secure profit, guys. It's so important. You can't watch a trade go 500 points up and then back down to your stop loss. That is a waste of a trade. That is a waste of time. And most importantly, that is a waste of money, right? So you need a point where you would be like, okay, at this many pips, that's approaching my target. At this amount of pips, I'm gonna start securing maybe 250 pips, right? In this case, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, very open. Our target is 1,000 pips per trade in a 3-day cycle run, right? 1,000 pips in a 3-day cycle run, right? In the choppy market, do we achieve that? No. So this is what we do. At about 40%, when the trade has reached 40% of what we want, we secure 25% of our profit. So what that does is you grow slowly but surely, right? You make sure that even especially if you're in a choppy market like we've been in the past couple of months, that you will secure profit nonetheless, right? You will secure profit. You will be able to reach your payouts, even though they're quite small, even though sometimes we do trade longer than we expect to. Like usually we want to trade 14 days and make a payout, right? However, when the market chops around, you won't really now achieve those targets as often. But now you need a way to achieve those targets without hitting your ultimate target, right? So yes, we trade about a 3-day cycle. 2 weeks ago, I think that was the first time we actually got a 3-day cycle, but it wasn't complete. We only got 30% of our initial target, right, which is 300 pips. We closed that and that was it. So, but my point is, if you follow the same system, yes, sometimes you could be your funded account could be in a negative, but I would say you would never ever breach your account as long as you follow the same system and your risk management is on point, right? Very important factor that we talk about is risk management. Guys, you're gonna see we can make, I'm not saying we can make 40 to 50% on a trending market, right? I know traders who are making even less than that, right? 10% even in the forex market, as a trader in general, 10% of whatever of your capital per month is great money. You can actually consider taking it on as a full-time job, which I have. It's very, like in South Africa, for instance, right? Let's do South Africa, for instance. If you have a $50,000 account, right, which would cost you about 3,000 to 5,000 rand, right? You have a $50,000 account, you get funded, and your plan is to make about 10 to 30% a month, right? Let's say we're in a trending market and we make 30% in 14 days, right? Already that's $15,000. You're looking at about 300,000 rand this side, right? That's money. That's how you grow gradually, substantially, and truly, right? What does that saying say? Grow fast, you won't go far, but together we go further, right? You need to, we want to make $1 million in a day, we want to make $1 million, but if you take those same numbers and you get bigger capital, for instance, that exact same 30% on a $200,000 account, which would cost you about $1,000, just above of $1,000, right? On a 200K, you make 30%, right? That's $60,000. That's $1 million, right? The common deception and the common misconception people get about trading is it's about daily money, weekly money. Possible, right? But we need to understand that no car note, no mortgage is demanded on a daily or weekly basis. So that's why for me, I'd rather have profit. I count my profit at the end of a month, right? If I can make 30% twice a month, 2 payouts a month of 30% on a $200,000 account, $60,000 to $120,000, that's just above $2 million, bro. You good, right? But enough yapping, let's get to the market, right? So we're gonna start on, I think would be the 7th of April, right? So on the 4th of April is when we wanted our 12% payout, blah 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 blah. Now let's get to the numbers. In a way, you would kind of be seeing how my journey should have went if one had gotten paid, right? But we put that all behind us, guys. It's fine. It's okay to start over. God has your back. Right. So first and foremost, guys, we have a break low below the Asian range. This is the target. This is what we know. This is what we want to see on a Monday. A break low below the weekly Asian range. On Monday, we do get a break above the Asian range. However, the daily, this is the daily Asian range, right? However, we know because of the break low, we want to go long. Great. Now, you take this around here, we got stopped out, which is fine. Everybody loses. Now, we have a high of the week. We have a high of the week. So, now on Wednesday, because of the Tuesday loss, we would have been considering the continuation towards the downside. However, when market during the London session now broke the weekly high, that now meant that, that means there is no extension towards the low. There is no continuation towards the low. The play is still to go long. But now, I remember this day very completely. We had FOMC. So now what does that mean? We lost our first trade. We lost 2% of the account. So now to build it back up, because we're below our initial deposit, our initial capital, if I could say that, we will be taking a 1% risk, right? Why? You need to build towards being profitable. The point, I've always said this even years ago when I was still teaching, that the point is the number one point in trading, that is, you need to survive, right? This is the jungle, and you need to survive, and you can't survive if you are over risking and you are not in profit. Going 2% on this trade, even though you've lost a trade already, that now you are below your initial deposit and you take a 2% trade, that would mean that you have now lessened your chances of survival. You are closer to breaching your account at 10% overall, at your 10% max drawdown. You don't want that. So what happens after you lose your 2%, it is 1% chances that you can take, and obviously it will be a disgrace if you could lose 8 trades in a row. If you were to lose 8 trades in a row, I promise you it is not your system, it is you. You are the problem. You are the problem. So what happens is that market makers break the weekly high. We see that the longs are still in play. We wait for FOMC to do their thing. They did their thing. We entered around here. What did I say? We're looking for 1,000 pips in a 3-day cycle. What happens? From there, no drawdown whatsoever. By the end of Asian session the next day, we were already up 800 pips. So that means we're already above our 40% mark. We're protecting our 25%. They didn't come back. We hit our 1,000 pip take profit. Now that puts us at 8% profit for the week. Right now, we entered on Tuesday. We entered on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. On Friday, yes, you could have been expecting your reversals, which you took a stop. Now, what happened is that now you're 6% up for the week. You're in profit. What that means is now you are now at liberty to trade 2%. You are now at liberty to trade 2%. Right? Why 1,000 pips? Steve Morrow advised us that we do need a profit target. You can work better if you know what you want. Yes, could we have made more than 1,000 pips on the 3-day run? Yes, we even could have made almost around double. However, you need to understand that you do need a profit target in order to survive in this business. You eliminate greed by doing so, right? And greed is a sin, right? In this case, we're up 6% first week. Brilliant. What is our target to make in a month? 10%. The bare minimum is to make 10%. Right, we're gonna get to times where in 14 days, when you want to process your payout, that you don't have 10%. So what does that mean? It means you trade a bit longer towards your target, and that's it. Once you hit your 10% mark, take your 10% and continue trading. Right? Because why? You need to make money. You need to make money. Right? But this only happens, guys, in a choppy market, in a sideways consolidating market. That's the only reason why it would happen like that. But if the point is, even in this choppy market, we got paid, and I think we did an 11% payout that took just a bit longer. We did a 17% payout, and we did a 25% payout. Now, the fact that the percentages are growing gradually, that gave me the courage and the confidence to say this market will eventually break this consolidating state that it's in, and we'll be back to trending markets once again. So we're up 6% first week. Right, again, we reset, we see break below the weekly Asian range. We have no break for the day on Tuesday. So our first break came on Wednesday. We entered around here. We made about 500 pips towards the downside. We're already 40% up. We're above 40% up. So we protected our 250 pips, our 25% in this case. So let's just make that a bit more practical. Let's measure. We missed our stop, by the way, 25%, and we made a 5% profit on that. So 6 plus 5 is 11%. We already hit our target, and you can continue trading. That's the best part. Continue trading. Doesn't mean now you've hit your 10% you stop. Continue trading. So you know that it's only your second day going long. So even here we had news at around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They give us our entry here. We hit our target on Monday afternoon, early afternoon. So already we're up 11% with 2 trades. We're up 11%. No, actually, up 11% with 3 trades, 1 loss, 2 wins. Right, up 11%. Now we hit our target with a risk of 2%, because why? We're above our initial deposit. From 11, making 1,000 pips, we're up 31%, and we still need to trade our final week. We're up 31%. Brilliant. If you put it in context, already you're already up $15,000 on a 50K. You're up $30,000 on a 100K. You're up $60,000 on a 200K. Those are good numbers to me. So you, again, for South African purposes, you're already up plus 1 million in 2 weeks, just by following a system that works. Right? We have a break high for the week. We have a break high for the day. We were sellers in this market. We entered around here, 1,000 pip take profit. We even hit that. Wow, we even hit that before we slept. We even gapped down into your target. Right? So from 31% to 51%. Right now I can see that I probably under promised, if I could say. I underestimated how much you could make. So already on 100K, you're up $50,000. On the 200K, you're up $100,000. Following simple rules. Do things get a bit complicated in a choppy market? Yes, but the rules don't change. We still get a breakout for the week. We still get a breakout for the day, and we still keep trading. Do most setups work out? Yes, until they're disturbed by fundamentals. Right? So again, that's why we pray, especially when we're trading, we pray that we have good weeks. But in majority of the year, majority of the time, we do. So it's not your fault if you find yourself in a choppy market. Things can get slow, right? We're up 51% on that. We can take a break, if I could say. Not really. You could, but I always for me, I'd rather always trade the entire 3 weeks and then process my payout, right? So in this case, we're up 51%. We were supposed to continue on selling on the Wednesday. However, we took a stop loss from that. So from 51, we're back to 49%. There was no break for the day on Thursday, which is the final day for us to actually reverse, but there was no breakout for the day. Now on Friday, this is now where everything cut into place. So we're up 49%. We took buys here because of the break low below the Asian range. Obviously, after it's been 3 days of sells, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday was the day for us to reverse. We made more than 40%. The trade ran more than 40% of our target. We protected ourselves at 25%. So from 49, we made another 5% going up. 49, 54% payout. 54% payout. That's $108,000 on a 200K. That's $54,000 on a 100K, and so on and so on and so on. Right? Brilliant. In my case, very brilliant trading. But these are the results of a trending market. Right? New week, new payout cycle. We have break above for the week, no break for the day, but the break comes on Wednesday. Right? We enter to go short here. We make our 1,000 pips. In this case, we made 20% of our initial deposit in one trade. Right? So we're up already 20% already in the first week, compared to that other first week where we were just up we were up 6% in that first week, but we still managed to make 54% payout in 14 days. Right? 14 days. I'd rather stretch it to 15, make it just three trading weeks. Right? We're up 20%. We tried to take a sell again on Friday, or we actually could have tried to reverse because it was our third day. And we did get a break above the Asian range. However, we got stopped out. So again, that was 18% for that week. Week 2, we have a break above the Asian range. No break, no London session breakout on Tuesday, right? Hence why we didn't take anything. No daily break again on Wednesday, and then only on Thursday we had a break, and we came back towards the Asian session low, and again we're up 18% if I'm not mistaken. just quickly do the numbers on that. So remember, our target is 1,000 pips. We protect our profit at 40%, and we protect 25% of our profit, right? So now we took the cells going downwards. I think we took them around here. We went down above 40%. They missed our I can't believe they missed it by 100 pips. So now we had to protect our 25% around here. So we made from 18%, we made an additional 5%. Like I said, guys, it's better to make 5% than for market to come back and hit your stop loss, right? That is a waste. I don't actually believe in breaking even, because again, for me, it's a waste of time. Yes, you eliminate the waste of money element, but you do kind of waste time by watching market run towards your target, come back, and you get out with nothing. Most likely you would get out with a negative swap, right? So you would so we took the sell. We took the sell right here, ran towards the target, but failed to make it, and we made our 5%. From 18 we're up 23%. Brilliant. 2 weeks, we've surpassed our minimum target. Which is 10%. We're up 23%. Great. This is great news, guys. You're making money. And which is what's most important, is that you're securing these profits. All right. Now we entered again for shorts because it's day 2. They miss our stop, and we run all the way down to take profit. From 23%, you're up 43%. You're about to trade your last week going into this payout cycle, right? You're up 43%. You hit your target. I think you made about, how many trades did we take in this case? How many trades did we take? 1, 2, 3, 4 trades. 4 trades were up 43%. All right. Again, we continue. Monday we reset. We look for the weekly breakout. We have the weekly breakout. Break below the Asian range for the week, break above the Asian range for the day. So we were gonna continue going short on that. No, going long, pardon. We wanna go long from that. Unfortunately, we hit our stop loss. I think we got in around here, and they hit our stop loss around here. All right, no beef. We're still up 41%. However, what that means is that now, since that happened, remember we had a similar scenario that happened back in April, but in this case, this is the high of the week. We have a break low, but if market had came up during London and broke the weekly high, then yes, the longs would still be in play. But in this case, that's not the case. Market stayed below the weekly low. We were looking for the break for the day. We got that very late, just before the open started, before we could even deem this market having not broken out for the day. I think we didn't have FOMC at the moment. No, we didn't. Actually, no, we didn't. Right, so we're up 41%. We took a loss on Tuesday, that's fine. And we entered here to go short. The target is still 1,000 pips in a 3-day cycle. This now just turns things around. I remember Steve saying in one of the videos that he recorded in 2012, he did say, and he said it so casually. He was like, all you had to do was just turn around. And I remember back in the years, I didn't understand him. How do you know you're just simply supposed to turn around, right? But now I understand him. But again, in this case, we didn't make the target that we wanted to make. So what happened is that we made more than 40% of our target. We protect our profit at 25%, 250 pips. So here we go. So we're up 41%. We make 5% around here. But what's the best part about it is that we do have a daily break below the Asian range on that Thursday. So we make 5% from 41 to 46%. We get in again to go long because Y market still broke low, so we can continue going long. Right, so again, above 40%, we protect ourselves at 25%, which we did. Another 5% towards the high, so we went from 41, 46 to 51% on that trend run. We entered to go long again on Friday. There we go. They literally came back almost towards our 25% protection mark. However, they failed to come. 3 days later, we hit our 1,000 pip take profit. So from 46, if I'm not mistaken, no, 51%, we're up now 71%. Right, we're up 71%. I don't know if I were to put that in numbers. Very crazy if we were to put that in numbers. Basically, it's a lot of money. Right, so you made about almost $140,000 on a 200K. You made $70,000, $71,000 on a 100K. Those are great numbers. Those are great numbers. You are almost approaching 3 million on a 200K. Almost approaching 3 million in 3 trading weeks. 3 trading weeks, 15 days. Guys, those numbers are crazy. Those numbers are crazy, right? So imagine how far one should be by trading that specific, like trading the way I just explained it to you right now. Imagine how far one should really be, right? Again, take nothing away from anything, take nothing away from anyone. Forgive, guys. Forgive as your Heavenly Father forgives you, guys. Right? So those are the teachings of Jesus Christ in Book of Matthew. If you're interested, go read out about it, guys. So again, we're back in a new payout cycle. Very, very brilliant numbers. So 3 payouts so far ever since we started our backtesting session. 3 payouts so far. It was a 50% payout. It was two 50% payouts, if I'm not mistaken. 2 50% payouts and a 71% payout. So if you do the numbers on that, with whatever capital that you do have in mind and you aspire to have, do the numbers on that. Very, very, very brilliant, right? As we saw, guys, we did take some losses here and there, but at the end of our payout cycle, at the end of our 15-day trading cycle, we were profitable. We were profitable, and that is, for me, that's where the beauty lies. We were profitable. That's where the beauty lies. In the choppy market, are you a bit challenged? Yes, it happens. It's like any other job. It's like any other qualification. Even doctors with private practices have bad months. Even engineers with private practices have bad months, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Right? Please close the door. Right. So, as I was saying, everyone has a bad month. Everyone. Even a 9-to-5 person who just overspent slightly has a bad month and just can't wait to get paid again. Right? So works the same. Do they work a little bit longer? Does it feel like, yes, for some people it feels like they're working a little bit longer, but yes, that's literally the reality of trading and making sure that you have one system with the right risk management tools, the correct targets that you can reach, the targets that you know you can reach. It doesn't mean like someone can catch you lacking in the choppy market and be like, man, don't you think 1,000 pips is a bit too big for a target? You tell them no. You tell them no, because you've done it before, it's happened before, and it will happen again. Plain and simple. Right. Brand new payout cycle. Let's go. No break for the week on Monday. We only got our break for the week on Tuesday. Great. Break high above the Asian range for the day on Wednesday. We took that trade. We made a loss, so we lost 2% on our first cycle. Right. So that means we need to trade 1% going the other way, meaning maybe market is trying to extend towards the upside. Now, we took this buy trade towards the upside, going long. Let me quickly just check up here. So in 3 days, we entered around here just after the news. We made we are above our initial target over there, above a 40% mark over there. Okay, market comes back, it ranges on the 3rd day, which was Monday. And if market does not come back and claim your trailing stop at 25% on the 3rd day, especially if it's a Monday, we don't trade on a Monday. You can wait for the end of New York session and you can close your 500 pips or however much market has given you. Right, this is May. We're approaching the end of May, so this is probably the time when gold started to get a lot choppy. Right, we got 500 pips from there. We lost 2%, made a 1% trade. We're up 3%. Right, nothing wrong with that. So now what happens is that we now have to reset. You're gonna hear me say this word a lot. Reset. Every Monday we reset market. We want to see the same things again before we start trading again. All right. Do we have bad weeks? Yes. Three stops in a week, guys. You stop. I don't care, even if you to get some information somewhere out there, some insider trading information, and you have the drop on us, bro. I don't care. 3 stops in a week, you stop. Come back next week. All right. So we're up 3%. We see market has broken low below the Asian range for the week. We have a break on Tuesday for the day. I remember we took this and we took a stop here. Right, we were up 3%, now we're up 1%. Not bad. Better, it's not better than how we've been doing, but this is also a clear sign that we are and could be entering into a choppy cycle. Right, numbers will gradually get low. Your first weeks won't be as good as some have been in the past as well, but I'm not complaining. What I am seeing is a silver lining. I'm seeing 1, I'm still in profit. 2, I can still take a 2% trade. Right, am I certain that the market is about to start ranging? No. I can only give the market time in order for the market to reveal what it wants to do. All right, we're up 1%. That means we're trying to go for the extension. We can still take a 2% trade. We waited for the FOMC. We traded round about here. We made about 500 pips above our 40%, and we can protect our 25% right here. Right, so from 1 we're up 6%. We took our long trade going long. We made 25% off of that, and for that we took a stop the next day during Asian session before we even woke up. Right, so we're up, so we're still up 4%. As you can see, we're growing gradually, steadily. We're still in profit with the correct risk to reward ratio. We're still in profit. Right, we go long on Friday, 2% risk. I think this is still, no, we're still in week 2 of our payout cycle. We took this going long and we hit our take profit on just at the end of New York session on Monday afternoon. So we're up 4%. Now we're up 24% by hitting one target. Right, brilliant. We're up 24%. We still have to trade our final week going forward. So now what we see is that we reset. We see market has broken high above the Asian range for the week. We see market break below the Asian range for the day on Tuesday. We took a stop, so we're up 22%. What's the silver lining? The silver lining is still above our minimum, which is 10% a month. Remember, guys, I lowered the expectations on purpose. If I would to tell you you are going to make 10% or above in 2 weeks or in 15 trading days, and what happens if it doesn't? That means I lied. Right, so now with these numbers, now you have surpassed your own expectations. All right, we're up 22%. There was no break for the day for us to take the continuation, so that now cancels out the continuation trade. We come back on Thursday, we go short one more time. Right, we were supposed to make our we didn't break even. Can you believe that? We didn't break even. So Thursday, by Friday we were up more than 40% again. Do we hit our target? No, we went just more than 800 pips. So we did do 80% of our target. However, we didn't make target, so we're still protecting our 25%. Right, market comes back. It's a Monday again. We wait until the end of New York session. You can trade, you can close anytime. I just choose to wait until the end of New York session, and we closed around about 480. Let me say 480 pips. Right, 2%. We're still up about 32, 31, maybe 30%. We're still up 30%. So we made 30% in this case of our payout. Again, put that into perspective. 200k on the 200k, we are up $60,000. Right, in 2 weeks. Sorry, in 15 trading days. Right, 15 trading days, we're up $60,000. That's about $1 million this side. Right, so you're making money. Right, could we have a range? Yes. I can't even tell you for sure that you're gonna be making this spot on amount in this spot on amount of time. I can't. This is a business. No business performs the same. I can tell you now, if you go to Checkers, if you go to Pick and Pay, ShopRite, there's some produce that rots sometimes, and they had planned to sell all that produce. Right, but over time, depending on the season, they know what to sell more and what to sell less, what to buy more in their stock and what to buy less of in their stock, depending on the season. So again, just like supermarkets, retail businesses would have seasons, also us as traders, we have seasons. Right, it's June. Market starts getting choppy. Right, nothing wrong. Market starts getting choppy. Let's see, new payout cycle. Let's reset. We have break high for the week, we have break high for the day, We tried to take this, we got stopped out around here, 2% down. We waited for the FOMC because why? We have a we have a break high for the day on Wednesday. Remember guys, this is the Asian range blue box. It's very important. Asian range for the day, we have a breakout above that. As you can see, price closed. We waited for the FOMC. We got in around here. Market shot throughout the night. Market shot up around over the night. We have over 25%, but we don't have 40%, so we're not inclined to protect anything yet, right? So market comes back down, one candle, we do 70 pips in drawdown, 70% of our risk, right? Market comes back and look at that. Now we can protect our 25%, which is around here, right? Market does not come back. Market does not come back, and we shoot all the way up on our third day, and we make, I think we just slightly made 1,000 pips, so it was an 8% run over there. I think, yeah, we did. We should have made that, but either way we're gonna close, so let's just call it 1,000 pip take profit. So we're up 8% on the first week, right? We've seen on the daily chart that this is round about the time market started getting choppy, right? Let's move on. What do we see? We reset. We see market break low for the week. Tuesday, no break for the day. Wednesday, no break for the day. So imagine your level of patience. Imagine your level of patience, right? Only on Thursday we get a break below the Asian range for the day, meaning we can continue going long, or we should try to go long. In this case, we enter around here. We took the stop loss on Friday morning, which brings us at about 6% profit. We took the Friday buy. Why? It's only from the Wednesday, Thursday that you can kind of expect to go for continuations, right? But because the Wednesday has now paused, you don't really need to focus on continuations because it's Friday. Why for me, in my experience, why would market now want to continue going short? It can. However, usually those things would happen around a Wednesday. So now, because if there was a break for the day on Tuesday and we lost that trade, yes, then these sells, had market broken above the Asian range or below the Asian range, doesn't matter, as long as there's a break above or below the Asian range for the day, right? That would now mean that we need to take these shorts. But remember, we had FOMC that day, and that happened around here. The entry they gave us was around here, and we got stopped out in the early morning. But that's why you don't take it, because without a break, we are now subjected to a 50-50 accuracy, right? Meaning 50% win, 50% you could lose, and those are bad odds already as a trader. That's why we have strategies, that's why we build systems. So that's why we want to be in a place where we know, okay, once we see the specific move, once we see the specific scenario, then we know our winning ratio is a bit higher than our losing ratio. All right, so we took longs, we made more than our 40% run. We entered around here, made more than 40%, and we secured our 5%, which literally just before you slept, before I slept in this case, I secured that, and then I went to bed. Right, this now puts me, we lost 2%. we made 5%, so we're up 11,000, if I'm not mistaken. No, sorry, not 11,000, 11%. We're up 11%, right? From 6 to making 5, we're up 11%. This was our second week into trading. Silver lining, we're up our initial target of 10% a month, right? So already these are the signs that you can already tell, I might be trading longer than what I'm used to. You're usually trading 15 days and then you make your payout, but sometimes you could trade even 20 days, even 25 days, right? Before you even make your 10% initial target for the month, right? Does that come with a little bit of work? Does that come with a little bit more patience than what you're used to? Yes. Are the trades choppy? Does it feel like market does not want to move in your favor? Yes. But what I can tell you for sure is that you need to hold on to the true teachings of the system. You need to hold on to the true teachings of the system. Right? You're up 11% in 10 trading days. Let's see what the possibly could be we could be trading a lot longer, but we could be trading until just 15 days. Let's see. Right, we reset on Monday. No break for the week. No price close. We have a break low for the week on Tuesday. We start going long on Wednesday, right? I remember this week so well, hurts my feelings. However, we make just over 25%. We come back, market stops us out. We take sells on Thursday, right? And we get stopped out literally just after New York session, right? We continue going long around here. So we were up 11%, 2% loss, 9%, 2% loss, 7%. Right, we are in our last week, our last 15. We're in the 15-day trading. We've traded for about 15 days now. So usually around this time we were used to us having our payout ready, right? So now what happens is that trade was moving nicely, well, choppy but nicely, but look what the open does. Get stopped out, market moves. Hey, don't make the rules, right? What did I say? 3 stops, you stop. We took 3 stops, we stopped. Luckily it was a Friday, so we can continue trading on from the next week. Alright, so reset. We are up 5%. We are up 5% shy of our initial target. What does that mean? It means you would have to trade just slightly longer than what you're used to. A little bit more work, sure. A little bit more patience, sure. But I guess this is where I would usually say it helps to have big capital, because again, if you're in South Africa, there's no way, depending on your lifestyle, there is no way you spend $1 million in 1 month or in 15 days. That's crazy. Always strive to have a balanced lifestyle, guys, right? For me, I'm not trying to impose anything on anyone. However, always try to have a balanced lifestyle. For me, I run. So I would say my biggest spend in a year, each and every year, would be running shoes. I run. I like to dress nice. I like a bit of swag each and every single day. Yeah, I don't drink. I don't smoke. So I don't indulge. Maybe in December during festive, but usually I just choose to work. I I just choose to work it because the forex market doesn't close, which is the best part of doing what we do. Right, so reset. We have break above the Asian range for the week, break above for the day. This is the sellers. We go down nowhere near the 40% mark. We hit our stop Wednesday night. No break. I remember I think it was 4th of July the next day. The NFP news came on a Thursday, but we didn't have a break above or below the Asian range during London session. So we were not going to trade or participate in the NFP at all. So we're just down not down, but we're up 3%. Right. We continue. Right. We're up 3%, guys. We're trading slightly longer than what we're used to. That's fine. So we took the sells again on Friday. They miss our stop. We go down 40%, literally maybe 42% of our initial target of our profit target. We close out at about 25%. So we made 5%. So from 3 to making 5, we're up 8%. So we are getting closer towards that target, right? We have break below the Asian range on a new week. Break below the Asian range. We wanted to go long. We hit our stop loss very quickly. So we're up 6%. No break on the day of extension. So if we wanted to extend the lows, we couldn't. Why? Because market did not break above or below the Asian range for the day. All right, so we wait for Thursday. We continue we're up 6%. We continue. We entered quite late because of some 7 o'clock news. I remember this day. We make more than 40%. On the third day, we close our 25%. So from 6% to making 5% profit, we're up 11%, and that's when you can take your payout. Right? Took a bit longer. Literally took a whole month, but again, it took a whole month. But again, you were able to make your profit target. Were we anywhere close to reaching the account at 10% overall drawdown? No. Do we take more than one trade a day? No. We don't do that. Right? Are we still making money? Yes. On a on a 100k account, you made $10,000, $11,000. On a 200k account, you made just $22,000, which is about 400,000 rand this side. You can still survive. It's a bit less than what you're used to, but you can still survive. All right, 11%. We have break low below the Asian range for the week. We tried to buy. Imagine me taking a stop loss on my birthday. Imagine. So we took a stop loss on my birthday, trying to go long. Obviously, we have break above for the day on Wednesday. So this is the day where we wanted to go. We went for the extensions. So now we got in around here. We made just over 40% right there. 40% of our initial profit target. We came back and closed out with 25%. So we are up 0.5%. Yes, we're up 0.5%. We went long once again for 3 days, and we closed out at 650 pips. So on a 2%, we're just up 10%. We're up 10%, maybe just maybe 12%. So we're up 12.5%. Not bad. not bad at all. First week, not bad. So those are the signs. How you do on your first week kind of can tell you, ooh, and the next two trading weeks about to be crazy. All right, break above on Monday, break above for the day, break above for the week on Monday, break above for the day on Tuesday. We took it here, right? We got stopped out. There was no London break on Wednesday, so we stay out of that. So we are up 10.5 after that loss. So that means we could not continue with going long. However, even if we tried and you wanted to take your 10 and you wanted to take an attempt to go attempt to take your extension towards the high without a break, what did I say? No break above or below the daily Asian range. You put yourself at a 50% win rate, and you don't want that. You would have lost that trade. Right? So we continue going short because of the break high. We take a 2% trade. Here we go. We're up 40%, so we can protect our, I think we just missed, depending on the spread, I think we just missed. Let's see. Depending on your spread, when we actually took this trade, it actually missed. So we traded 3 days, made about 12%, almost 14% towards the downside. We're up 10%, so already we're going towards, since we didn't hit our target, we closed 575 pips towards the low. That is about, from your 10%, we're looking at about 24%, or just shy of 25%. So you're up 25%, right? It's your second week. That was a Monday. We reset, break below for the week. So we tried to go long. We hit our stop loss on Wednesday afternoon. That's fine. We're just up 23%, which is fine. There was no break, so we can't really take the continuation going downwards, especially after the FOMC that night. Sorry. We tried to go long one more time. We got stopped out here, so we're up 21%. Now, because here's the NFP of this month on August, the 1st of August, we got the NFP. Sorry. We entered around here after the NFP, right? Only because we did get a break above the Asian range for the day, and market is still yet to continue going long according to our system. So we took it here. Market had grace on us. We move, we make 40%, and we clocked out at 25% with a 21%, and we made 26% on that payout. So already you could tell that market could be going back to normal trending market. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. Right, we made a 25% payout on a 200k. That's $50,000. On 100k, that's $25,000, which is good. Just 500k. I think it's 500k on that payout. Let me just quickly check and confirm with you guys. You see, when you trade, you have a converter on standby. $25,000. Let's see. $25,000. That's almost about 440,000 rand, right? You have 50, so about 980,000 rand on 200k. Not bad, even in the choppy market. So even on the 5th of August, you would have made a lot of money. just that this month has been quite choppy. Right? Let's do the last payout cycle. We have break above for the week, break low, but we did get the sell signal around here. We didn't make 40%, so we can't protect any profit yet, and we got stopped out on Thursday, on our third day, down 2%. We tried to go short on Thursday, and we took that loss round about here. So we're down 3% for our first week. So already you could be like, whoa, right? Already you could be like, yo, okay, what a bad week to start off things, right? We continue. There's no break. There was no break on Friday, so we could not take a trade anyway. So we're down 3% for the first week. We have a break low on Monday for the week. We took this trade, we got stopped out immediately, so we're down 4% already. Whoa. So that means we need to go up for the continuation. We got a break high above the Asian range, got the M formation there. We entered around here. They missed our stop loss around here. So it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We exited around here with 300 pips. So we're down minus 1% on the second week. Right. So again, I'm not changing the rules in any way. I'm just trading. I'm waiting for the news to pass by, and then I take my trades in the technical market. Is it choppy? Yes. Hell yes. Is it bad to be down 4%? 3% on your first week? Yes. Trust me, you're not having a great weekend. Right? But you just made just shy of R1 million, so I guess maybe that could console you a little bit. What's great about it is that maybe you can use some of the money just to kick back, relax, and just to spend your weekend in chilled vibes. Just wait for the new week. Chilled vibes. I think probably on a 200k you should be up in total, your P&L for all payouts. You should be up around maybe 5 to 6 million, right, in about 4 to 5 months of trading, right? So $1 million. So you could easily say you made $1 million a month, each and every month, right? So we're we're down minus 1%, and that's okay. You're not close to breaching your account in any shape or form, right? And I think this would have been last week. All right, let's see. You're down minus 1%. We only got our break for the week on Tuesday, break low, so we were entitled to go long. So this was it. So we went long with our minus 1% with a 1% risk. We took a loss on Wednesday, so we were entitled to go short. No, I'm lying. We were entitled to go short on that Thursday. Beautiful trade, only until we made 200 pips, 23% of our initial profit target, and then the news came by and we took that loss, right? Could you have taken the buy trade going long? Yes, but you would be down. I think you're down only 4% again. No, I'm lying, 3%. You're down 3% if you didn't take the Friday entry, which is around up here, right? You would have probably taken that loss again, you didn't. You're in profit. Can you believe it? You're in profit. So if you were taking it around here, you'd have missed your stop. No, I'm lying. Yeah, Actually, you would have been up here. You would have been up here, would have missed your stop. And right now, market would be kind of wrestling with you. So we are hoping that we do get the break high. Maybe get some pips out of that. Maybe tomorrow we can close with a positive, and maybe you can come back to your initial deposit. All right. So you're down 3%. If you were busy with this one, you're kind of just fighting for your life right there, where price is right now. But guys, that's the reality. That's the reality. No payout ever since the 5th of August with that 26% payout. Not bad. Not bad. Right? You went from 11, 17, and then you went to a 25% payout. Right? So I would say things are getting better. Just that, these past 3 weeks, you should have processed another payout, but you didn't. But however, again, it's all about hard work. It's all about hard work. Believe in each and every single setup that you're taking. And that's just my opinion. Believe in each and every single setup that you're taking. For me, things are gonna work out for you. No break so far for the week. Market has been ranging in the psychological high and low. So because you have not hit your stop loss yet, I am hoping that we do receive a break above the Asian range for the week, and possibly we could continue with sells. We could take sells beginning of this week, going into the new month. All right. So if we check things out, if I were to employ skills that I was taught back at Xauusd, this is what we would see over here. Let's see. But for me, usually when the market was trending up, I would usually just employ my support line. So already we could say breakout. Market has retested. So this, if we do get a breakout above the Asian range for the week, and we get a breakout for the day tomorrow, it might actually reverse. And that could be the signal that market is finally about to break this consolidating range over here. But yeah, guys, since we took so long just to do the gold, I will be recording another video during the week just to show you guys how you can also trade other pairs as well. GBP/USD, the Euro USD, USD JPY as well. Maybe also the Nasdaq and the US30 as well. But I did gold because I am a gold trader, and gold usually just reaches our target much easier. I like it. Not really I like it. I love trading gold. It's my favorite instrument to trade. And it follows most of my setups. It follows to the T. So thank you guys for watching the video, although it took very long. Thank you for watching the videos, and we hope we can see each other in our mentorship. Guys, if you do want to get included in our online mentorship classes, guys, it's only going to cost you about $50 to join, and we'll be with you for the entire month, where we teach you the system in detail, right? Entry points, things to look out for. How do you know market is broken above the Asian range for the week, Asian range for the day, things like that. So you can follow a system, so you can also be part of the people that can not potentially, but that can make 10% minimum in a month, right? So right there, guys, thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe if you are a new viewer, and more content is coming. Cheers, guys. We'll see you on the next video.